Get ready for University of Georgia basketball.
Alright guys, Georgia and Maryland East Shore tip-off today. It's recorded on November 4th, but we're recording it. It's going to be released November 5th. So Georgia and Maryland East Shore tip-off today. Georgia won their last game over Bellarmine 104-59. And, well, I pretty much went in detail of that game the best I could. And in short, Georgia played great. Like I said, defense we got to stop with his second half collapse earlier, but luckily it wasn't that bad. It only got like a 20-point lead to 14, and then Georgia turned it on again. Jake Wilkins had a great dunk. Everybody played great against Bellarmine, and you love to see it. So Maryland East Shore, now this is a very, 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 very interesting case. They almost beat Georgia Tech in their opening game. They didn't. They lost in overtime. But they almost beat Georgia Tech in their opening game. The final score of that game was 56-52 in overtime. I was trying to find game leaders. Joseph Lucario for Maryland East Shore had 17 points. Dorian Staples had 6 rebounds. And Dorian Staples had 4 assists for Maryland East Shore. So, they shot 35.7%, 26% from 3. They had 19 turnovers and 41 rebounds. Maryland East Shore in their last, if it has it, yeah, it does not have it. So I actually do not know much about Maryland East Shore. So sorry guys, I don't know much about them. I'm reading the recap right here. It's from ESPN.com. It says Mohamed Salilia scored 14 points. A Kuwachi Reeves 3-pointer with 37 seconds left overtime broke the score, and Georgia Tech dodged an upset, beating Maryland East Shore. So yeah, I assume that maybe I hope this doesn't sound rude, but I kind of assuming that they're not good. What conference? They were in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. That's the same conference with South Carolina State, Delaware, North Carolina Central, Howard, Coppin State, Norfolk, and Morgan. Their team leaders are Shaw with 18 points. That was last year. So their leaders this year, who will the leaders this year be for 25-26? Doesn't have it. It says Shaw has 18. Okay, so I guess that's their thing. Their roster is just a few players. Levi Beckwith, Trey Brown, Jaden Cooper, Christopher Flippin, Trey Hall, Mauro Hanson Jr., Jaden Johnson, Joseph Lucario, Justin Moden, Zion Abula, Dorian Staples, Michael Teal, I like that guy's name, Devin Thompson, Javory Thompson, and Marcel Vasel. And again, they are in the Mid-Eastern Atlantic Conference, and they are 0-1 coming into the Georgia game. And well, what I need to tell you about Georgia, Georgia's 1-0. They just beat Bellarmine 104-59. Yes, 104-59. They played a great game versus Bellarmine. Just a quick recap, so maybe this could be a little time-consuming. First 4 or 5 minutes of the game, Bellarmine played good. They kept launching threes and going in. Like I said, it's very frustrating when you're doing the right things and then these guys are over here just throwing up threes and they go in. Eventually, Georgia got into the groove. Kane Catchings took over the game for a minute. Georgia had multiple game takeovers in this game. Catchings took it over, then Ross took it over, Wilkins took it over, Blue Kane took it over, and of course at the end Brandon Klasky took it over. Georgia didn't play great the entire first half. After about the first 5 or 6 minutes in the first half, Georgia didn't play great. Bellarmine couldn't touch Georgia. Georgia goes up halftime big. As we know, Georgia gets a little sluggish there in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Bellarmine turns a 20-point lead to 13 or 14. But then after that, Georgia did a great job of managing it. They pushed it up again. Jacob Wilkins' dunk off a steal was great. Santos Surreal had a great alley-oop. And then, of course, my personal highlight of the night, Brandon Klasky hits the three-pointer in the corner. And, well, the rest was history. Georgia wins it and starts 1-0 over the Bellarmine Knights. Real quick before we get to our game, Wednesday, let's look at some of the games that are also today. So I believe there are only 2 other games in the SEC today. Tarleton State and LSU at 8 o'clock, and North Alabama and Mississippi State at 9 o'clock. And these are obvious LSU and Mississippi State wins. The Mississippi State game will be on Network, but the other 2 will be on Plus. So SEC Network and SEC Plus. And you know, the first thing Georgia has to worry about in this game is it's a very, very quick turnaround. You play Monday, you have a rest day Tuesday or practice day, then you come around and play this game. From ESPN.com, it says Georgia and Maryland East Shore to meet in non-conference action. Georgia went 20-13 a season ago while going 15-3 at home. The Bulldogs averaged 17.8 steals, 5.1 block, and 12.4 turnovers. Maryland East Shore finished 6-25, going 1-17. The Hawks averaged 15 steals, 2 blocks, and 12.5 turnovers. To be honest, Georgia should win this game big. It should even be worse than the Bellarmine game. And, you know, there's really not much to kind of say about games like this because obviously Georgia should win. And so I'm trying to think, what do I want to see in this game? We had almost everything in the Bellarmine game. Georgia played great. Georgia had electrifying dunks. They had three-pointers. What did we end up shooting for free against Bellarmine? Let's take a look at that. That's what I want to see. What did we end up shooting for three-point land against Bellarmine? Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. I wasn't aware of this until late last night. Shout out Mike White. That win against Bellarmine was his 300th career victory. I did not think about that, and I didn't even say it. The game, Georgia and Maryland East Shore, starts at 7 o'clock. I just wanted to go ahead and say that. I did not say that earlier. My apologies. I want to see what Georgia shot from free against Bellarmine. Team stats. Okay, we shot 5 for 17. That's 9 for 29. Or we shot 5 for 17 in the first half. Yeah, 5 for 17 in the first half and then 4 for 12. That's 9 for 29. So that's something. I'd love to see Georgia hit a few more free-pointers. Maybe 11 or 12. And maybe that's being a little selfish, but I just like seeing them. I love three-pointers, so, you know, excuse me. What I really want to see is Mike White give it to Santos Surreal, and he's behind the three-point line, and he hoists a three-pointer and it goes in. That would be nice to see, but that would be crazy. But that's probably what I want to see, more three-pointers, and maybe I keep harping on it, but it's something that we're just so used to under Mike White. I can't stand it. It's the early second half falter. We got to stop doing that, and maybe against Maryland Eastern Shore we won't have that. Now, obviously, against Maryland East Shore, Bellarmine, and whoever else you're playing in non-conference play, you're not going to lose because of a slow second half start. You're not. It's impossible. The only way you lose is that if you play absolute terrible, which, newsflash, this Georgia basketball team is not terrible. I don't care what the schedule says. This Georgia basketball team is talented and you need to believe it. But I would maybe I got some more three-pointers. Okay, so I guess a few more three-pointers, just maybe 11 or 12 or 13. Better second half start. And we held Bellarmine to 59 points. Let's get lower than that. Let's hold Maryland East Shore to under 55 points. I think that would be cool. So that's three things I like to see. A few more 3 points made, better second half start, and a under 50 points. That would be nice. That would be very cool, actually. I think about the Georgia Buffalo game last year where Georgia got up 23-0, and that was that. So that's what I want to see. So yeah, Georgia and Maryland East Shore at 7 o'clock, 6:30 airtime or 6:35 airtime on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network with Scott, Chuck, Adam in the game. I forgot that new guy they had. I couldn't remember his name. I think his name was like Michael or something like that. So yeah, guys, Georgia basketball is back. You know that I love doing these doubleheader days, and let's have fun. So Georgia and Maryland East Shore again, 7 o'clock. Let's go Hoop Dogs. Let's have a great night.
Dogs do the improbable, the unthinkable, the unbelievable. They beat Arkansas and go wire to wire to win the SEC tournament.